41-year-old LeBron James was phenomenal last night. He was 12 of 17 from the field and ended up with 27 points. He was probably the best player on the court last night. Meanwhile, Shai had his worst game of the playoffs so far this year. He had 7 turnovers per ESPN, and it was just so unlike Shai. In fact, the last time that he had a game with that many turnovers, which was six, was Game 6 of the NBA Finals last year. So we're coming up on a year where Shai had that high of a turnover game. So it just is super uncommon for Shai to turn the ball over like that. With that being said, the Lakers just did not have the juice. You know, they hung in there with the Thunder for 3 quarters. It was close. It was 4, 5, 6 points, up to kind of 10. But then in the fourth quarter, the Thunder just blew them out, and it was over from there. Hello, my name is Nathan, and this is Thunder Up Talk. Thank you for watching, and if you like this video or any of my other videos, please subscribe to my channel. I'd greatly appreciate it. So today I just want to talk about 5 things that kind of stood out to me, talk a little bit about how I think the Thunder can improve, and a little bit on how the Lakers can improve. So the first thing that I just absolutely want to talk about was the Lakers and how they defended Shai. So I want to give kudos to JJ Redick. He did a phenomenal job of kind of creating a defensive game plan to double Shai and just keep him crowded. I mean, they did a really, really good job of that. And Shai just kind of looked out of sorts from that. Part of it, I think he was just a little rusty, you know, the whole rust versus rest thing. But he really did look rusty. But I think the Lakers and Marcus Smart in particular made him feel a little uncomfortable. And they did a really good job of that, doing that pretty consistently. Now, there were also breakdowns in their defense, especially with Chet. I mean, Chet got 2 or 3 just wide open dunks, and quite a few easy shots throughout the night because of some of the breakdowns defensively. But in regard to Shai, the Lakers really did as good of a job as I've seen anybody do guarding Shai, and it resulted in 7 turnovers. Now, I do think there are some things that Shai and the Thunder can do to kind of offset that pretty quickly. So the first thing that I think that they should try to do is get one of the bigs, either Chet or Ihart. And if I had to pick between the two, I'd go Ihart because he's just a really great passer. Just getting Ihart kind of at that free throw line, at the nail, and just right in the middle of the court. And that way he can make himself available, Shai can pass it to him, and at that point, you're kind of looking at a 3-on-2 situation in favor of the offense, in favor of the Thunder. And Ihart is so smart, you know, he'll either have an open drive to the lane, or most likely somebody will be guarding him, and he will just be able to make a pretty simple pass to whichever corner is open. And I would love to see Dort in the corner. He's, you know, we can rely on him. Of course, Chet can be in the corner. I think that would be great. Either one of those guys, or either any of our shooters. An Isaiah Joe or a Jared McCain would be just awesome in the corner. But either way, I think that would result in a pretty wide open corner 3. And even if the defense recovers a little bit and then they pass around a little, it's just going to cause more chaos. They'll be scrambling, and it will just result in an open shot for somebody. The second thing that I think they can do is Chet did a really good job of, he talked about how Shai's turnovers on the stat sheet are going to be Shai's. But he said they're really team turnovers. And I think what he meant by that was there's improvement for the Thunder players, for the team to make themselves available to get open. We've all played basketball where, you know, nobody's moving or cutting and you're just kind of stuck with the ball because you picked it up dribbling. And we've also been on the other side where we are the ones who maybe aren't cutting or moving and just kind of staring at the ball. And I think just being cognizant of that, being aware that that's going to happen now, guys will make themselves available, move, come to the ball. And so that's the first step. And as soon as Shea makes that pass, I kind of want to see, as the defense is scrambling to get back to, their guy after double teaming Shea, I want to see whoever's on the wing getting that ball, just passing it right back, super quick, swinging it right back to Shea, because the defense is going to be kind of caught in the middle, caught off guard, and then I think Shea can really attack pretty quickly. It'll be one-on-one coverage again, or they might try to recover, and it will be a soft kind of double team that Shea will be able to break through. So I think just getting the ball to the middle of the court and being quick with the ball. And we all know this playing basketball. Just those simple things I think can go really far with the Thunder. And again, Shea is super smart. He's the best player in the league. I'm not worried about his 7 turnover game. But I do think those are a couple of things that they can do to improve. I also want to just talk about Jared McCain. He was so fun last night. He was 4 of 5 from 3. His first 3 was just him dribbling in transition. He knocked it down above the break. That was awesome to see. I think that one was in the first half. Then his other 3, the second one was from Ajay Mitchell. It was a pretty simple, I think, pass in transition. And J-Mac was wide open and shot it. The third one was a really fun interaction because McCain was dribbling down the court. He passed it to the corner to AJ, and the defense recovered, and AJ just whipped it right back to him on the wing. Bang, bang, wide open, nothing but net. And then the fourth one might be my favorite one because I talked about this so much about Jared McCain when we first got him. Relocation. So Shea is dribbling, I think, right down the middle of the court, attacking the rim. Jared McCain was initially on the wing, and his guy wasn't looking at him. He just slides on over to the corner. Shea finds him, wide open 3. Again, nothing but net. Wide open shot because he moved, because he relocated, and it made it an easy pass for Shea, an easy shot for him. It was really a thing of beauty. And, Jared McCain, he's so fun to root for. The vibes with that guy, he's just high energy. The fans love him, and you could tell everyone was erupting in the arena. And those threes weren't like huge threes. They weren't necessarily momentum threes or threes that got us a lead or anything like that. But it was just a nice calm threes to keep us from sweating. It kept the Lakers away from us. And we really didn't have to worry about them getting too close in the fourth quarter. And a large part of that was because of the threes that Jared McCain hit. So that was awesome. The third thing that I want to talk about is Austin Reeves. So Austin had a terrible game last night. I think he was 3 of 16 or 3 of 17 from the field. And really, for a while, he'd only hit 1 shot for the majority of the game. It was just really, really bad. If he continues to play like this, the Lakers are going to lose by 20 plus the majority of the games. They lost by 18 last night. I'll say at least 15. They're going to lose by 15 plus every single game for the next 3 games if he continues playing like that. And it was just so bad. Austin Reeves has got to be the Lakers' second best player at minimum to even have a chance. And he is capable of being their first best player, their best player on the court. He's capable of scoring 30, 35 points, maybe even 40 points if he gets to the free throw line a lot on any given night if he's healthy. But I just think he's not healthy. I think he is fighting through injury. He had the abdominal strain. So I think there's something there. If I had to guess, he's probably 75%. He just did not look like the real Austin Reeves. I saw him grabbing his knee after a play or two. And of course, those injuries always come up and are apparent when guys are having off nights. It always happens. When they're on fire, they're never grabbing for anything. But anyways, I do believe he's injured, and if he can't be 90% of Austin Reeves. They're certainly not going to win games, and they're not going to be close. The fourth thing that I want to talk about is Ajay Mitchell. So he had 18 points. He shot 7 of 16 from the field, so he wasn't 50% from the field, but that really doesn't bother me at all. I think what is so important about AJ Mitchell is that he is relentless, that he is fearless, that he is willing to take 16 shots as a second year guy in a playoff game. I mean, that is so, so important. Um, he was really great going to the left, of course. He's left-handed. He has phenomenal touch, and I just love watching him get those high. He gets it really high off the backboard, right over the defender. They can't block it. I'm sure it's super irritating, and it just goes right in the bucket. I mean, he really has great, great touch, and it's fun to watch him attack. And AJ Mitchell is kind of the bridge that allows us, the Thunder team, to not have to worry about J-Dub too much. Now, I'm not saying we don't miss J-Dub. Of course, having our second best player back will be great. But having AJ allows us to just continue to play without having to rush J-Dub back. And I think that is so important. And the reason why he is that bridge is because he does some of the things that Jalen can do, some of the things that Shai can do. I'm not comparing him to either one of those guys, but he's for sure our third best attacker of the rim. He's our third best shot creator. And I would even argue he might be a little bit more relentless attacking the rim than even J-Dub. That's nothing against J-Dub, but AJ he keeps going and going and going. And just watching him attack the rim and put the pressure on the rim, put the pressure on the defense, on the Lakers, is just really fun to watch. So he was incredible, and it's really not fair that we have a guy this good making $3 million a year in just his second year. He's so good. And I think at some point, he's kind of going to be looked at as like the big four. I'm not saying he's as talented as the big three, but he is part of the core, and I think we keep that guy as long as we possibly can. Because call me crazy, I think this guy can potentially be a borderline all-star. I wouldn't be shocked if in 10 years we look up and that guy, maybe not for the Thunder, but somewhere, especially if he went to the East, makes it to the All-Star game a time or two. So I just think he's got all the talent in the world and all the composure for such a young guy. It's awesome to see. The fifth thing that I just want to talk about are just some team stats, because it definitely tells a story. So the Lakers shot 41% from the field, not great. 33% from three, which, again, not great. Not the worst. The Thunder have had worse shooting games for sure, especially from three. But in comparison to 49% from the field this game for the Thunder and 43% from three, the Lakers, again, I keep saying this, but they have no shot if some of these things occur. One of them being Austin Reeves being that bad. If we shoot in the 40s from three throughout the series, the Lakers have no shot. And I think they have no shot of winning a single game in the series. And I'm going to say this too. I'm keeping my prediction. The Thunder are going to sweep the Lakers. It's going to be 4-0, and because the Thunder simply have more offensive firepower, they have more defensive firepower than the Lakers. It's really all there is to it. A 40 or 50 point game from LeBron may not even get them a win against this Thunder team. So, and I've touched on this a little bit in regard to J-Dub. I don't want to see J-Dub for the first three games. I just don't want to see him playing at all in either one of the first three games. And if we go 3-0, I'd be okay with, if Jalen is ready and right, I wouldn't be opposed to having him play maybe 20 minutes in that fourth game, maybe getting some of the rust off, and then, maybe a little bit of conditioning kind of in preparation for the game against the Spurs or the T-Wolves. So, um, really, that's all I've got for today. And yeah, it's just fun watching this Thunder team be so dominant. It's so fun watching some of these media outlets not really know what to do. They still don't give the Thunder the praise that they deserve. I don't think they realize how historically good this team is. But, if we win a second championship, I think it will start to hit people just how great this team is. So, this is your daily reminder from me to just enjoy every second of this Thunder team. All right, that's all I've got today. Have a wonderful day, and of course, Thunder up.